Hey everyone, welcome back to day 3 and Merry Christmas to you all. I'm recording this audio live on Christmas morning where I am in Australia. Not actually too hot in Sydney today, which is actually quite nice. But anyway, there's nothing really else to say except to jump in the battles today. Had some good battles. I climbed up some elo today, about 40-something points, so that's good. Out of my 5 sets I did, 3 positive, 2 negative, so pretty happy with that. Anyway, let's just jump into it. Alrighty, first battle, Palkia O into Zarude. This is a good lead for Palkia Origin. Now I do have to tank a Power Whip. However, I can farm up and go for the special round before they reach the next one. Now they can either shield or let this go. If they shield, then I get the shield advantage. They don't shield, they let it go. They bring in Charm Primarina. I think I should have pivoted here. I don't know why I stayed into Aqua Tail. Looking back, that's probably a mistake. I think I wanted to keep my alignment, but either way, I should have sent in Zacian, I reckon. Not too sure on that one anyway. Hydro Cannon comes through, a no shield as the charms don't do much, especially the Dust Main. Go for a Dark Pulse bait. It's not really a bait because if they no shield, then they're one Shadow Claw away from being fainted. And it's a Kyogre in the back, so bit tricky, but not super tricky. I can get them low. I'll try to switch there. The problem is they've got 2 shields. I need 3 Wild Chargers. But in this moment, I was like, you know what? I don't want to debuff myself. I need to go for the quick attack farm down. Use both my shields and go for the quick attack farm down. And that's what I do. So I go quick attack. Will I make it before they get to their surf? Yes. Very good battle for me. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I'm gloating. But I was very happy with... I was able to recognize my win condition at the end then. So GG's to the opponent. Hopping into the next match here. Palkia into Palkia. Pretty, neutral lead, but I go for the special round here, and I don't think it was a CMP tie. It could have been. Anyway, they let it go, so we take the lead. Now, they bring in Snarl Zacian, which is a bit of an awkward Pokemon. They're getting a ton of farm here. I probably should have pivoted into my Zacian straight away, now that I think about it. However, they are low. I just let it go, because they go for the Wild Charge. They lower their defense, come in with Dust Main. Now, Snarl's super effective, however, these Shadow Claws are ripping through him. I no shield the first move. They get to their second one, but they send in Ho-Oh. Thank God I have Zacian, because if my Necrozma was on this, I'd be pretty stuffed. I go for the Play Rough here. This is pretty... they shield. That was pretty risky. If they no shielded, because they can survive 1 Wild Charge, they no shield is bad. The reason I did that is because if I went for Wild Charge, I'd lower my defense, and I'd probably be able to get farmed down by Incinerates. So now, because I got the shield with Play Rough, I can actually make it to the back-to-back Wild Chargers here. Go for Wild Charge number 1. If they no shield, which they don't, they send in Zacian, but I catch on my Necrozma because I knew they would throw. However, can I make the farm down? I can't. And I thought I could make the farm down then. Perhaps I should have probably thrown a move, but I think I need a back-to-back. I think Ho-Oh had a move. Anyway, frustrating, but that's just the game. So GG's to the opponent. Hopping into the next match here, Palkia Origin into Primarina with Charm. Bad matchup for me, so I save switch into my Zacian. They're staying in, which is quite interesting, so I think that Zacian's got quite a lot of play in the back. Now send in their Rhyperior. I go for a Play Rough. This will do a decent amount of damage. They don't have to shield it. They farm me down. I bring back in Palkia as... I don't want Necrozma taking those Mud Slaps. I can tank 2 Breaking Swipes. Well, actually, I can't really tank 2. Barely. But I go for the CMP tie, get this Aqua Tail off. They go down. I pivot out. They bring in their Primarina. And at this moment, I realise my Dust Main is very valuable in the back as they are not switching out at this point. And see... They bring in Solgaleo. Now, Solgaleo's got a decent matchup into Necrozma, but not Necrozma up energy, especially with Dark Pulse. Here, I made, I think, a mistake. I should have no-shielded, as it's a Psychic Fangs. I knew it was going to be Psychic Fangs, but I was scared they might actually... I'm not familiar with my Solgaleo accounts. I thought they might be at a Flamethrower. Anyway, I come in with Palkia to reset the debuff and force their energy. They bring in... They bring in their Primarina to try and charm me down. However, I thought maybe an Aqua Tail plus a Shadow Claw would KO, but they are able to make their Hydro Cannon, which is pretty sad. But GG's. Here's our next match, leading Palkia Origin into Yveltal. This is a quite neutral-ish lead. Now, they will make it to their their Dark Pulse or Oblivion Wing before I make it to a Spatial Rend. So I'll have to shield this, farm up quite a bit. There's two ways I can play this. I can go for the Spatial Rend. If they shield, it's not great, which they do here. But I do make the Aqua Tail. They could shield this, however, if they let it go, they will survive. But they do shield it. Gain a bunch of energy, and I just elect to take the shield advantage. Bring in Zacian here, and they make another move. I let it go. Just an Oblivion Wing. Keep farming. Can I get the farm down? I can, which is great. Bring in Landorus, but I'm ahead on energy, so this is great. This play rough's going to do quite a lot of damage. Quite a lot indeed. I shield this up as I do not want my Dust main dealing with any of that. Dialga comes in. I keep farming. We're over time. That does a ton. However, I'll make 2 Dark Pulses, and that's what I need. So I go for the first Dark Pulse. Second Dark Pulse. This will KO them. However, they do not have enough room to farm me down to get a Sandsear Storm, so I come in with the Play Rough and knock them out. GG's. Here's our next match. Sorry if my voice is a bit weird, if I'm not talking as much at the moment. It's the end of Christmas day, and I'm just recording a couple voice clips before I go to bed. So, and I've been talking all day, so I'm pretty tired. Anyway, Palkia Origin into Necrozma. Not a great lead, but not the worst. I shield up the Outrage, which is good. They bring in Palkia. I save switch in Zacian. I let the Aqua Tail go, obviously. I am down a shield at the moment. Not ideal. Farm up. Go for the Play Rough. Now, this will be lethal if they let it go. However, they're most likely to shield it, which they do. But that's okay, as I can no-shield this Aqua Tail, and I'm in no room of getting farmed down here. So I farm up. And then there, I wanted to show that. Siri, I don't know how, I didn't press any buttons. Siri, something in my voice got Siri to go there. And I almost lost it because of that. Not only lost the game, almost lost it in real life. Anyway, Aqua Tail comes through on Palkia on the Dust main, gets them quite low, farm them down. They bring in their I was going to say Darkrai. Oh, God. Their Origin form Dialga. God, I'm so sorry, guys. You know what I mean. Palkia, get the farm down. They have a Kyogre in the back. Now, I have a shield, but their only win con is to farm down. However, I make it to the Sunseal Strike, and this is GG's, because I think I have the Aqua Tail loaded anyway, but this just KOs. There we go. GG's. Thanks, Siri, but I still won. Next match here, Palkia into Yveltal. We know this matchup is quite neutral. I actually need to check. I'm not sure who's meant to really win this matchup. Palkia has to shield the first one. However, with baits and stuff, it can get a bit tricky. Now, they bring in their Necrozma. If they're safe switching it into Palkia, there's a good chance it's on Outrage. These Aqua Tails, though, will add up. 2 Aqua Tails will put them quite low. So go for the first one, no shielded. Second one, no shielded. Stay in. I think I should have switched. See, this is a really bad game for me. I don't even know what I was doing this game. Now I'm double shielded. They bring in their Dialga, and now Yveltal's stuck on Necrozma. This is hard to watch. I don't even know why I did this. So what should I have done? Let's just think while this battle's happening. Palkia into Yveltal. They safe switch in Necrozma. I should have immediately responded with my Necrozma, as I know that I do not want it to face my Necrozma, my Dust main Necrozma. So the second they switch theirs in, I should have immediately switched mine in. Immediately. Because my other 2 Pokemon had better matchups in Yveltal, so I should have, even if I was down energy and lost switch, it didn't matter. I needed to switch in my Necrozma. Anyway, this is the next battle leading to another Yveltal. This time I go for Aqua Tail, gets him quite low. Shield this up. Oblivion Wing. They bring in and I bring in my Necrozma, which is great. Now, I am down a shield, which isn't amazing. However, they get to back-to-back here as well, so now I'm down 2 shields, unless I no shield. I thought I would survive that, so I was pretty upset. I even thought about backing out, but I was like, let's just see what happens. I think this was late at night, so this is one of my problems. It's quite telling watching this, like seeing my mistakes come through. And what do they have in the back? It's the Yveltal, obviously. See, like if I had double shielded, they would have had to shield the Dark Pulses that I had on my Necrozma, so I probably should have double shielded. Seeing I had Xerneas in the back. I could have won this game, I think, but maybe not. But depends. Because I would have had to do some catches or something. Anyway, Aquatail after Aquatail comes through, but it just doesn't matter. They do not have to shield whatsoever. Go for the Moonblast, pick up the KO. I get the Wild Charge here, but it doesn't matter. They have a shield. They'll go for the Close Combat or the Moonblast, and I've lost. So GG's. I think in that situation, I probably should have shielded my Necrozma and farmed down or got closer, go for Dark Pulse to at least force another shield. Anyway, GG's to the opponent. Here's the next match, leading Palkia into Dialga. This is not great. I actually learned today, I'm trying to learn a bit about bulk points and that. My Palkia's IVs are 15, 13, 15. And even if Best Buddy, to actually lose a bulk point against Dialga, meaning every Dragon Breath does 1 extra damage against my Palkia. So that's not great. I definitely need to Best Buddy it, but I need another Palkia at some point. Good thing is that Palkia is really good in Raid, so it's not like I've wasted the XL. And it's still an incredible Pokemon right now in Master League. Anyway, sorry. Landorus responds to my Zacian. Obviously, the Play Rough lands, gets them low, bring in my Palkia. They have had to shield against the Zacian. I bank the Spatial Rend, and there is something that I am actually regret doing. I should not have quit there. I should not have quit because Palkia takes no damage from Incinerates. I was up a shield. Dustmane could have done some damage. I'm actually very upset about that. I frustratedly left, and I probably had a win condition. Anyway, Charm Primarina into Palkia. Safe with Zacian. They stay in quite a bit, so I get a lot of energy. Then they switch. They switch in Kyogre. Now I will be able to make the back-to-back Wild Charge again. I go for it here just to make sure they don't go for the Surf, and if they throw another Waterfall, I make it to my third. So they will have to go down 2 shields here if they want to keep switch, which they do. I bring in Palkia, and I just hope I no-shield this, because I need the shields for Zamazenta. Zamazenta! God, it's been a long day. Here, I intentionally let them get me even lower, so they get less farm on their Primarina, as this Aquatail won't do anything. And they have a Ho-Oh in the back. However, I have 2 shields. And I've got a slight energy head start. So this is going to be close. This is probably the worst Pokemon to have in the back. When I saw this, I was like, oh, for God's sake, this could be the only way I lose this match. However, I get the Dark Pulse. It knocks out. Now it's a race. Will they charm me down before I get the Dark Pulse? No, they won't. I make it to the Dark Pulse. A very close game. Almost lost with 2 shields. However, I think I played the game pretty well. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not an expert. Well, I've made it to an expert. Made it to expert before, but I think that's a fluke. Anyway, hopping into the next match here. Palkia into Melmetal. I remember this game. This made me feel like it was like 2020 or 2021 again. Into Melmetal. They're not throwing, obviously, because they're kind of, I think they'll wait. Or they're building up, to the back-to-back super powers, and they're trying to wait for me to throw. You go for the first one. I immediately respond with Aquatail, because now the defense is debuffed. This is going to do quite a lot. They go for another one here. I no shield, because I know I will survive this. And I'll see if they stay in. They do stay in, so I go for another Aquatail. This will KO or get a shield. And it KOs. And they bring in a Dragon Tail Groudon. I was like, holy crap. But the good thing about Dragon Tail Groudon is Dragon Tail is double resisted by my Fairy typing on my Zacian. Excuse me. Fire Punch does a decent amount as it was buffed this season. However, they shield the first Play Rough. And here I can just farm up quite a bit because Dragon Tail doesn't have the most amazing pacing. It's good pacing. It's quite oppressive with fast move damage. Not against Zacian though. I tank another Fire Punch. They make it to another one. I shield because I think that Zacian will be valuable in the back. And I probably should have farmed up here. Just dumb. I've completely won, but I don't know why I threw that Wild Charge straight away. They backed out, but I should have farmed up and then gone for like the back-to-back or done one and kept one for later. Either way, I still won, but, optimization, that's how you make it to Legends League. Palkia into Necrozma, Dawn Wings. I love Dawn Wings. I just want everyone to know that. I'm using Dustmane right now. I have a max Dawn Wings, and I have used it. However, I find that with Yveltal everywhere, it's just really, really hard to use. Props to this trainer for having it on the lead. I run into so many Yveltals. I'm not sure how they respond that. I guess they have 2 responses to Yveltal. Well, they have AHAHA, which isn't great for my Duskmane. However, they are down a shield, and I was going there to force them to either throw their energy or make me get to a Sunsteel. So they throw their energy. I throw my Zacian. Now I'll shield 1, make to the back-to-back. Doesn't really matter if Sacred Fire lowers my attack, and it didn't. They bring in Zacian. I go for the Play Rough, because if they shield, I'll be able to make it to back-to-back Wild Charges. I shield this if it's Play Rough or Wild Charge, doesn't matter. I go for the Play Rough. I make it to the back-to-back Wild Charges. Go for Wild Charge number 1. Goes through. They bring back in Ho-Oh, and I farm up. I didn't throw straight away, because if I'd thrown straight away, I would have got farmed down by the Incinerates, as using Wild Charge lowers your defense. Sorry that I cut the audio out there quite suddenly. My dog barked, and I didn't want to delete that recording. Anyway, Palkia into Palkia. They look to be a hundo, but they did not have Best Buddy. We both simultaneously safe switch. They tried to catch. I tried to catch. This isn't great for me. They bait with the Dark Pulse too. I'm like, oh god, Duskmane Necrozma. I make it to the back-to-back Wild Charges. Wild Charge number 1. Actually, sorry, I was 1 off. Now go for Wild Charge number 2. This will force a shield or switch advantage. They go for their shield. I farm up, see if they make a mistake, but they don't. They throw right before my next move. Dark Pulse will still KO from here. I bring back in Palkia, and I go for the Aquatail here. It would KO. They switch in, but I'm like, perfect opportunity. I'll get a farm down with my Duskmane Necrozma, and what the Fire Blast Palkia? I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe I fought against that. You can see here, I'm not even touching the screen. I could not believe what I just saw. Fire Blast Palkia Origin on the lead as well. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, Palkia into Zacian is the next battle. I switch in my own Zacian, as I don't want to switch in my hard counter Duskmane, as they'll just switch out into Landorus. So I still use my safe switch, obviously. Sorry, I know I'm trying to get hints on how to improve, and I'm also trying to help people too. Because if I'd sent in my Duskmane, then even though that destroys Zacian, they would have just sent in their Landorus, and it would have been basically game over. So you don't want to switch in your hardest answer. You want to always use really your safe switch, unless for some reason, specific games you might want to send in your closer to like draw out certain Pokemon. Anyway, it gets a bit complicated, but most of the time you want to use your safe switch. Zacian comes back in. Aquatail's reached. Dialga comes out. I bring in my Duskmane Necrozma, very trusty, and they back out because they realise there's nothing left for them to do. I think they could have maybe won. Probably not. Like, could have had a bit of play, but probably not in that situation. So GG's to them. All right, here's the next match, leading Palkia into a Landorus. This is great for me. However, I have a bit of asthma, so I'm trying to breathe. If you can tell, like, you can hear me wheeze. We identically paced to the Aquatail and the Sandseas Storm. They beat us in the CMP tie. So if I threw the Aquatail, then I'd lose. They safe switch their own Palkia, so I respond with my Dialga. It's been a long day, guys. How's everyone's Christmas been, by the way? I don't know if anyone is listening to this video at this point. It's 19 minutes in, and these aren't the best. But how's everyone's Christmas been? Also, I just want you to know, I deliberately let that Palkia farm me down a lot. It was a bit closer than it should have been. I should have probably thrown the Shadow Claw a bit earlier, but I let them farm me down so their Landorus would not get any energy, and I'd be able to outpace them. Here's the next match. Palkia into Tapu Bulu, and everyone knows Palkia destroys Tapu Bulu. Not in this universe, unfortunately. Tapu Bulu is a very difficult Pokemon for my team to face. Anyway, I safe switch in my Zacian. They go for the Nature's Madness and then dip. They lowered my defense, meaning these Mud Slaps are absolutely shredding through my Zacian. Play Rough on number 1 is reached, and right before I use Play Rough number 2, they throw their energy, which is Brain Swipe. However, I survived that, but they sadly get the debuff, which means this won't do quite nearly as enough. I'm pretty sure it still wouldn't have KO'd. However, it means I probably would have been able to farm down without having to take this Breaking Swipe. They get the attack drop. Here, I probably just should have switched. I wanted to get them low, so maybe I could get them in Dark Pulse range. However, oh no, I don't shield here. Like, I probably should have saved the energy, because even a resisted Aquatail, even if it's at full power from Palkia Origin, even if it's resistant on Tapu Bulu is quite squishy. It actually does quite a decent amount of damage. Anyway, Palkia Origin in the back, and I've got Dustmane. This is good for me, however, they still have that Tapu Bulu, so I'm not sure quite how I'm going to win this. They shield the Dark Pulse. I think my win condition here is to farm down. I think that's what I noticed, but they don't let that happen. They switch straight into Tapu Bulu, and I realize here I need to make it to way too much energy. It won't happen. I need to farm them down here, or make it to like the triple Dark Pulse, and that's not even possible. Dark Pulse number 1. I go for Dark Pulse number 2 just to see. They would have outpaced me with their... Sorry, not outpaced me. They would have farmed me down anyway, even if I had kept farming and not thrown the move. But GG's, that was a pretty close game. I think there was a chance I could have won that. I'm not sure. If anyone has any hints about that game, Anyone has any critiques or anything for any games, please tell me. Shadow Rhyperior on the lead. They save switch in their own Palkia. I save switch into Zacian. Very interesting that they decided to switch out straight away. Rhyperior can do decent into Palkia as long as shields are up. Anyway, I go for the Play Rough here because I'm not playing around. Well, clearly I am playing around if I'm using Play Rough, like duh. They shield, they go for the Aquatail, I survive that, and I will be able to make it to this next Play Rough. But I overfarmed too much. I'm so mad I did that. I don't know. I thought I could overfarm it. I think I thought they were on... Like, I think they snuck a Dragon Breath as they switched in or something. I can't remember. I think that was the game where I was counting, and Aquatail pacing on Palkia is 12, 12, 11, 12, meaning it's 12 Dragon Breaths to the first 2 and then 11 to the third. However, I think I counted 10, but I think they snuck one through when I switched. Oh, not when I switched. When I switched or threw my move and I forgot about it, which, you know, that can cost you the game, and it might cost me this one anyway. Rhyperior comes back in, Dustmane's in, Sunsteel Strike goes through. They have their Tapu Bulu, however, I can tank whatever they throw, at least one of them. And it's a race. Will I make it to my move? Yes, I will. I throw there on alignment, but it doesn't matter because this is a Sunsteel Strike and this game is over, even if it's debuffed. I think it was actually debuffed. That is well and truly enough damage. Next match here is Palkia into Xerneas. Very bad lead for me. Save switch in Zacian. They respond with Kyogre. Kyogre has a positive matchup into Zacian. However, you know, Wild Charge is a ton. I go for the Play Rough here because I don't want to lower my defense. However, they call the bait. It's not really a bait because they tank one anyway, but I did not want to lower my defense here. Now, I get the shield advantage, which is great. This is the good thing about Zacian. So many matchups, even if you lose switch, you can get a shield advantage or gain switch. So see there, I was able to gain switch. Now my Palkia on their Rhyperior, which is where I want it. Rhyperior, as I said before, does well with shields up against Palkia, but Palkia does nothing into Xerneas. So I shield up this next Breaking Swipe. Does not lower my attack. Even if my attack was lowered, Aquatail would definitely KO here. Now, safe switch card. Switch in my Necrozma here. Now, if they go for the Breaking Swipe, doesn't matter if this lowers my attack. Well, it does, but because Sunsteel Strike will well and truly cleanly KO this Xerneas. Now, here, it was a bit of a problem. They've lowered the defense. My attack, I think, is -1. However, I was thinking, I need farm for the Rhyperior. But this Dark Pulse does KO, thankfully. And I still had the Palkia left. Ended the day at 2178, and I'm pretty sure the last day was 2133, so I gained quite a little bit of elo. Now, I don't think there'll be a video tomorrow, as today that I'm recording this audio it's the night of Christmas night. Haven't done any battles today. I might do one set before bed, but that'll be it. Tomorrow I'll do my sets and make a video again, but as I said, I won't be doing all my sets every day, especially not on Christmas Day. But thank you all for watching, and I'd love to see you back. I'm hoping at some point people will start watching. Not all of it, but maybe I'll put timestamps for where the important battles are so people don't have to fluff through all the arena battles. This is just a bit of fun for me. Anyway, thanks guys. Chat to you later. See ya.